Do you ever find yourself kind of like recreating past experiences? It's like we've all gone through our traumas, our ups and downs, our mistakes, our sharp turns we've had to take along our life's journey. And we want to create something differently, but we seem to be stuck. We just can't seem to move beyond it. It keeps reoccurring over and over and over again in our experience. And what I want to do is kind of maybe share a couple little mindsets and have you breathe in some notes to help you to kind of get to that place where all true creation that is unbounded by the past can come to fruition. Because really what happens is let's say we all go through things. You know, I remember my first girlfriend ran off with the Del Taco manager when I was in high school, and I was like, oh my God, heartbroken. Just here I was a strapping pizza thrower at the pizza place, and she ran off with the Del Taco man. I mean, just like, oh my gosh, it was traumatizing. And as a result of that trauma, I had this fear that ran within me, and I kept recreating dysfunctional relationships that wouldn't work. There was a part of me that always loved this aspect of being in a loving, relationship, and just no matter what, I seemed to recreate that experience. And if anything I learned out of that, looking back now and reflecting, and kind of what I wanted to share today, is that, we've all had these experiences that have happened in our lives. And they have a tendency to absorb into the mind. And the mind continues to create based on those past experiences. So how are we ever going to be free to create what it is that we truly desire? I asked myself that question. How am I going to be able to create the relationship that I truly desire if I am still connected to the past traumas, to the past situations that occurred? And the simple fact is you can't. And in some ways, it's like being stuck in karma. You cannot break free of that cycle because you don't want to create based on your past experiences. And unfortunately, that's all the mind knows, is what it experiences through the senses and what it has experienced in the past. And then it can project likely outcomes in the future based on that information. Senses, past experiences, what are we going to create on that? Is that really what we're bound to? No. There's something more that wants to come through. There's something more, and it comes from the invisible. And you might say, what do you mean comes from the invisible? Well, have you ever cut open a seed, let's say of an apple tree? You cut it open, you look in there, do you see the apple tree in there? No, you don't, but there's information, there's intention, there's this code that's within that. But there's nothing there, no thing. When you cut open that seed, there's no apple tree in there, okay? And it doesn't matter what you plant, it's not going to grow an orange tree, it's not going to grow an elm tree, it's going to grow an apple tree, right? The same principle applies to us. We want to create from the invisible. So what it means is going inward and making it visible. Your visions, where you focus your mind upon. If you're focusing on your past traumas, what are you going to create more of in your future movements? You're going to create more of the same thing. So you need to go into that sacred space within, that space between all the thoughts, that space of quiet, and begin to tap into that sacred space of your imagination and imagine and do the invisible. You go inward. You make visible what it is that you wish to create. You free yourselves from those past traumas. Yes, through forgiveness work. Yes, through self-forgiveness work. Yes, through releasing and dissipating. Very important to take that on, but also to realize your manifestations are not based on your past experiences or what it is you experience through your senses. Your manifestations need to be based on the boundless, where there is no limitation. That limitation comes from within. That limitation comes from within your heart space. And when we can take time to move within, through perhaps maybe the practice of meditation, yoga, getting out in nature, where we can free ourselves from those outward experiences and come inward and visualize unbounded. based on past things or based on certain conditions that need to exist in order to manifest our heart's desire, our biggest dream, fulfill our purpose. It all comes from within, and it starts within the invisible. And there we go within. We visualize, we connect in, we imagine, and we allow that imagination to be like when we were a child and we imagined these biggest and grandest things where we're playing with the, toys and different things. It was all so real within that realm. We can go into that same space with that same enthusiasm, with that same spirit, and begin to orchestrate a life that works, a life that's in alignment with what it is that we wish to create. So take some deep breaths and begin to look inward. That invisible space within you. And begin to visualize and see yourself living that dream. Unbounded by the past. Unlimited because that is your true nature. Deep inhale. Our visions shape our experience. What are you visualizing? Where we focus our minds upon. What are you focusing your mind upon? Are you taking time daily to go to that sacred space within and to visualize upon your heart's desire? And then with all of your mastery, focusing your thoughts, your mind upon that vision, feeling the energy of it as if it already exists. We need to free ourselves. Quit feeding ourselves visions of division and anger and upset. And tap into that sacred space within. So deep breath. You truly are unbounded, limitless, extraordinary. And it all starts in the invisible. So deep breath. We want to free ourselves from those past conditions, those past traumas, those past experiences that we've all experienced at one time or another in our lives. And we want to tap into that place that's unbounded by our senses, by conditions, by things of the past. And we want to tap into that imagination, that heart space, that unlimited possibilities, the grandest dreams, the highest hopes, the biggest visions that we can come up with that arise from within, from the invisible. And then we tap into that space, we visualize it, we feel it, we see it. And throughout our day, we focus our minds upon those thoughts and are very careful upon what it is that we feed ourselves. We feed ourselves things that uplift us. We feed ourselves things that harmonize us. We feed ourselves things that remind us of our grandeur, our magnificence, our unlimited potential. That's the truth of who and what you are. So, hey, if you would like a little musical note vibration to help you and support you on this, I invite you to go to the website. You can sign up for a free track of high vibration music and take this little exercise on. Play that piece of music while going into that space, that invisible space with you, and visualize your life being the way that you desire. Take it on for a week, pick one thing, focus on that, and see what opens up for you. So go to markromeromusic.com/gift, or you can just go to my website, markromeromusic.com, download that track of music, take that on just once a day, and see what begins to move and to shift. The invisible becomes the outwardly visible in our lives, what we experience through our senses. Completely backwards to how we've all been taught, trained, and schooled, right? But it's time to start creating from within. Take it on. See what opens up for you. Take care. Have a harmonious day.